Alright, welcome back. This Jazzmaster is in for a custom pickguard, a neck swap, new tuners, bone nut, new hardware, and a full setup, not to mention a little bit of a cleaning. The customer has requested we 86 the funky tone circuit. That's more than okay by me. We're gonna get rid of the neck pickup, get gone the tone knob, and relocate the volume knob. There are many ways to make a pickguard. You could use hand tools such as saws, files, rasps, razor blades, I don't know. You could trace the old guard and spray stick it to MDF and make a template that way. I've even seen people, including my coworker Jesse, use the old guard to create an MDF template at the router table. That takes some skill. I'm going to use my shaper origin, which means I must trace the old pickguard, then use a flatbed scanner to scan the tracing, digitally trace the scan in Illustrator, output the SVG file, which the shaper can read, and there you see the SVG file in all its glory. Take that in for a sec. Alright, here you can see the shaper. It's essentially a smart router that is CNC accurate. So you could cut out puzzle pieces and they will fit. It reads the domino tape and orientates itself in the world. I'm cutting the pickguard shape out of MDF for the sole reason of using it to cut the bevel of the pickguard at the router table. You know, that bevel that reveals the 3 plies. The only thing is, I made an oversight. The pickguard material was single ply black, which mostly requires no bevel, so yes, I did this MDF template bevel router thing for nothing. Oh well, oh well. When I took the pickguard material, I just saw black. I expected it would be 3 ply like the original pickguard was white 3 ply, but it wasn't. I'm sick of seeing a bevel. I'm anti-bevel. Let's get rid of the bevel. I'm going super slow in real life. This is sped up. Like so slow that I gotta go get a massage afterwards, like a Thai massage where they step on my back and get the kinks out of my neck, because it's a little nerve-wracking, this thing. If you go too fast, there's jitter. And if you go too slow, you got to go to a chiropractor. I always want to save these like negatives for some art project or something. I just have a pile of them. This double stick that I'm using is super strong stuff, like industrial strength. Sometimes it pulls a piece of the MDF with it because the MDF is like fibrous. And it definitely did that this time. I'm still completely unaware that I'm not going to use it. I still think I'm using it, which is why I'm going to super glue that piece on, and then I'm going to file it to smooth it flat. And it would still be very usable, no big deal. I'm inspecting the pickguard material because I've cut guards out show side down before. I want to make sure the protective plastic is on the side that is facing up. Sometimes there are 2 sheets of protective plastic, and other times there is protective plastic on both sides. You never know. It can be confusing, so the last thing you want to do is screw up an expensive sheet of pickguard material. It's kind of like a game. If you go out of the line, it self-corrects, and if you go way out of the line, past its tolerance, it'll retract. Pretty cool. Kind of like a saw stop, except instead of saving your finger, it saves your piece. Nice. It's always fun peeling it off. Not really. I'm always trying to save the offcuts, like the negative to the pickup, you know, thinking maybe I'll do something with it. I don't know. What could you do with it? Kind of ashamed just to throw it away. I do have a drawer with a bunch of them I'm saving for something. I'm still completely unaware that I'm not using the MDF template to bevel the pickguard. So I'm lining it up, see how good it fits. It fits excellent. If there was chatter, I would address that, but there wasn't. I'm taking off the old neck. This is a made in Mexico Jazzmaster. There's nothing wrong with the old neck. It was solid, good neck. But I could safely say that I think the customer liked the visual vibe of the neck he provided better, and I will say it did look good. It is like a roasted, torrefied vibe. I don't really know if it is. It could be dyed. Either way, the wood was hard. So, could be. Here I'm measuring the neck screws and finding the correct drill bit to drill into the back of the neck. Then I'm using my gauged punches to mark the back of the neck. Love those. Don't drill through. Don't do it. I know you want to. And when you do it right, the screws won't wander. They'll just go directly in, just like they've always been there. Hand tightening, finish it up. Now we're going to do my absolute favorite thing. Gonna refresh the electronics. I got to figure out what value pot that is. So I'm going to use my multimeter. I'm going to bare my soul to you for a minute. I was having trouble getting a reading on that pot. It's good I replaced it. Might be a short in there. Don't know. But it wound up being about 250. CTS pots vary plus or minus 20%. Getting that solder smoke. Ugh, I hate that. They need to make smokeless solder. I don't know if that's a thing. Doing the ground wire. And the ground wire from the bridge. Okay, I'll point out the elephant in the room. Okay, it works. Big deal. The whole cavity is grounded with that shield tape. Now, if it's legit, you don't need to solder between each piece of tape. But the problem I have with that is it doesn't really help the buzz all that much. And then if your pot gets loose and you turn it when you're playing, it could ground out on the side of that shielding. So I just don't like the shielding. Sometimes it can create a ground loop depending on how crazy you go with it, you know. So, I don't know. If we want to talk about Faraday cages or, you know, birds flying south for the winter, whatever. Not a fan of the shielding. Using a Christmas tree bit, chasing it with a hand reamer.
I came in here and he bought that funny looking contraption right there. That thing, he goes scissors, jack, thing.
Oh, look at this. A fret just popped out.
Good job, kid. Good job.
How loose are these frets?
Well, I'd say that.
There's no glue or anything inside. Look.
It was coming up
Oh
too.
my
Hey,
God.
look at that. Here, hit it some
Holy
more.
no.
Hit it some
Holy
more.
shnipe. I will put something
there
hard
you go.
under there. That's not going to stop.
I have a lot of fun at work. It was really just taking, you know, like a little tap. I wasn't hitting it hard at all.
It happened again. Look, these frets are just popping out. Isn't that funny?
Well, can you
Because, I mean,
the thing is this stuff is real.
Still got it.
Whoa.
That one too.
Crazy.
Charge him for a refret.
I hammered the frets back in, as you'll see. But if they weren't going to go in, and if things were problematic, I would have called the customer and told him, look, we're going to need to glue all these frets, and the price is going to go up. Going to have to clean out the glue and probably going to need a fret dress. Worst case scenario, for some reason, maybe even refret it. It didn't seem like the tangs were really digging in at all. The slots were really big. It's all part of the game. Guitar repair game. I don't know if those tuners are Kluson or what. I don't really pay attention to the make or model with the parts. Not unless it's like, wow, what is this? This is really cool. Otherwise, I'm just doing what it says on the tag, getting it done. Marking where the screw holes are going to be for the tuners. And drilling the pilot hole with the proper drill bit. That's important. And I'll do the first one by hand, getting a feel for how tight that hole is. And then I'll just get the other screws started and then finish it with my drill. I could get some weight on there. And I'm being careful. You don't want to break the screw off in there, like I've said before. That's a bummer. Alright, looks good. No problem. Now I'm going to get out my special pencil that I took to the belt sander. It's half of a pencil. And strike the line where I will file roughly to the bottom of that line. And the thickness of that pencil and where the lead resides is just perfect enough to do just what I said. If I file to the bottom of that line, it's not too far. If it's too far, you have to make a new nut. That sucks. The blanks are like $5. So that sucks. But when you do it enough, you get a feel for it. Just like anything else. Put a lot of strings on. I'm a Diodario man. Just kidding. I don't care. Ernie balls sound bright and new right out the pack. Diodarios sound warm and kind of even throughout the life of the string. At least that's what I tell customers all the time. Personal pref, bro. And I will adjust the nut to its final depth all throughout the setup process. I'm tuning it so the right amount of tension gets on the neck, so I can adjust the nut to where it needs to be. See? I didn't lie. See what I'm doing? Adjusting the pickup height. Installing a string tree. It didn't come with one, but I hooked him up. Sometimes you don't need it. In this case, I needed it. And that's the only sound sample you'll get of this guitar. I didn't have time to play it at the end, but it sounded kind of plunky. And as you can see, the setup process isn't over. Usually what that means is the bridge is too low and the nut's still high. This guitar was set up for C-sharp standard. So you're going to be playing some Doom, Slime, Grudge, Sludge. You're going to be playing some sludge, some Doom sludge. And that's all I got to say about that. Here's a tip. Feel free to write this down. When peeling the pickguard material, you want to loosen the jack nut and the pot nuts, and if the screws aren't countersunk, the pickguard screws, you want to loosen those just a little bit, and that way when you peel it, it'll go right through and it won't hang up. Trust me. I can't tell you how annoying it is when you see a guitar from, let's say, around 1995 and it still has the pickguard plastic where the nuts are for the pot and the jack. Sometimes the plastic will fuse to the pickguard. Gross. Of course, it's covered in dirt and grime, the plastic. This is not oddly satisfying. I don't want to get a single fingerprint on here, okay? This is almost the last thing I do besides polishing. I won't polish the body, just polish the body. I'll even polish the body in the case. It's a hot tip. If there's going to be any fingerprints on this guitar, it is made by the customer when they pick it up and I say, hey, check it out. What do you think? And they take it out of the case. Those are the first prints I want to see on the guitar. If my finger did touch the pickguard and I wanted to wipe it off, there's microscopic, fibers or dust or whatever that will create swirl marks. And I didn't work this hard for that to be the first thing the customer sees. If it sounds like I have trauma, probably do this long enough. Look, I'm like a surgeon. Look at that. Nice. Nice. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. Yep. I will say this very last bit is satisfying because you're at the end when you finally pull it off. Yeah. That was nice. Now this guitar was pretty dirty when it came in, mostly on the pickguard and other parts. So I'm giving it a quick shine and it's going to look brand new. New neck, shiny body, not a fingerprint on that pickguard. It's got either nickel or aluminum hardware. It looks real good. Love those block inlays on the neck. It's a hot guitar. It really is. And there you have it. Check it out. That's 90 miles an hour standing still. That's a hot guitar. One bridge pickup, that's my style. I'm always on the bridge. No hassle. I can tell you that the customer really liked it. And until the next one,